Welcome to Fear Coded, a podcast where we talk about media from the horror genre and take a queer reading of a single book, video game, film, podcast, or TV show to explore just how queer horror can be. This episode, we investigate a suspiciously vampiric rabbit as we begin Furry February, a month of talking about our animal companions in the context of horror, which begins with 1979's Bunnicula, A Rabbit Tale of Mystery by Deborah and James Howe. I'm Marilee.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm David.
Now, while we set our steak out on the counter to defrost, in the landscape of horrors that our real world has to offer, what's making y'all feel scared or prepared?
Stop. I am scared.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Here's the deal. It's too many video games. There's just too many video games. Next week, I warned you. I warned you all this would happen. Next week, Civilization 7, Sid Meier's Civilization 7 drops. We've been watching gameplay videos for the past 5 months. We've been getting ready for it. It is ready to go, but I am not ready for it to be here. Why? Because I have been bit. I have been bit by the Balatro bug, and I can do is play Balatro. I need help. I think about it when I close my eyes. I am obsessed with this game. Have either of the two of you played Balatro?
No. I know that when it was nominated for the Game Awards, a lot of people were like, "Oh, Balatro," and then had their whole lives chemically altered by Balatro. So I have addiction genes in my family. I'm simply gonna pass.
Tyler, it sounds like you, however, have dipped your toe into the waters of Balatro.
Yes, I also have addiction genes in my family, and I've dove in head first into the sea that is Balatro.
Oh,
God,
no!
It's so satisfying to see the numbers go up.
Numbers go up.
Numbers go up. It's so good.
I will say,
go up.
It's just got a really, really succinct and perfect gameplay loop. It makes me mad that I didn't develop this because, I have enough programming skills to have made this game. It is just so brilliant and clever and creatively done, and it does a really good job. And where I think sometimes when game developers get in their own way, they make fail states too difficult to recover from. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of AAA titles that Red Dead Redemption 2, for example. If you die, it is a punishing and grueling process to reload your game. With Balatro, they're like, you failed, let's start a new game. You failed, let's start a new game. Do you want to start a new game, David? Let's do more games. Game. It has just been... I mean, I've now bought it twice because I got it on Steam, and then I was like, no, I need this on my phone. And that was the kiss of death. I was trying all January long to put as much effort and energy into Simpsons Tapped Out that I could, but Balatro took over. It was everything. I almost neglected the Pokemon trading card game because of Balatro.
Okay, can you tell me more about what the actual gameplay of Balatro is? Because I know it's a card thing, but
yeah. What I need you to both understand is that while both of you have addictive genes, and so do I, we're all adult children of alcoholics here. So this is now an ACOA meeting.
So fun.
Hey, trauma. But when my dad would take me to the bar, he would give me a few quarters, and I would play that video crack machine. And there was a video screen on a large television that had a touch screen, and there were some rudimentary games that you could play for a quarter while everyone else drank, if you were the sort of father who took your child to a bar. Anyway, that is where I fell in love with games that use a 52 card deck to create gameplay loops. And I played a game called Run 21 on that, where you try to quickly make hands of 21 in 5 categories. Don't worry about it. Balatro, on the other hand, gives you a 52 card deck, and at a time you draw 8 cards and you attempt to make a poker hand. Pairs, straights, flushes, 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, whatever you can pull off. The more complicated your hand, the more points you score. Easy enough. First hand, you're just trying to get to 300 points. Nice and smooth. And then things get wild, merrily, because you can start to upgrade the cards in your deck. You can purchase new cards for your deck. Some of the upgrades you make your cards turn rainbow-like, and then they multiply your score at the end, to the point that by the 8th round, which is the final round before you go into endless point suck mode, the goal is like to get 800,000 points.
That's a lot of points.
Yes, but once you start, like, then you're kind of like, well, fuck you. I now have like 44s, so I'm going to make 5 of a kind hands, a poker hand that you cannot make in traditional poker. And then the game like racks up the points, just goes wild. That's the problem, is that it is a good gameplay loop and it's fun to watch numbers go up.
God, numbers
Not
go
to
up
mention,
is so
you can
good.
also add additional cards to your deck, so you can wind up with more than 52.
Or
do I have to play Balatro?
Well, I don't know.
Yes.
Then the podcast might cease to be.
Yes.
Or we could just start a Balatro podcast.
Hard pivot.
Yeah.
Not
What
that
if
hard.
just-
Not that hard. It's horror.
There is kind of like a weirdly horror-ish
I
kind
was
of
just
vibe
going to say,
to it.
Marilee, there's a whole like deck of special effects that you can get that are all kind of horror themed, like a hex or a cryptid card that do
Well,
weird
listen,
things.
But even like the aesthetics alone are kind of like you're in some weird void of color where a clown called Jimbo runs everything, and there's different permutations of Jimbo as like the different wild cards that you can get, and he's always there just being like, ready for another game? Ready
Yes,
for
he's
another
Jigsaw.
one?
Want to play a game?
Want to play a game?
What the heck? I might have to play Balatro.
Check it out.
I was going to say,
So
you
fun.
had me at cryptid cards, and then you kept talking about Jimbo the horror clown, and now I'm a little conflicted again.
Yeah.
Well, he's not really like super scary looking. Like he looks like a little friendly cartoon character. He looks mischievous.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what
And
it
his
is. He looks more like he's into
his dialogue is mischievous, which is kind of fun. So if you lose, you do get a little flavored. If you wait around long enough to get the flavor dialogue, he will show up and give it to you. But boy, that new game button is real close to your mouse, and sometimes I don't even see the dialogue because I'm like, fuck it, I fucked up this run. I posted this to Blue Sky when I started my obsession, but I also talk to myself a lot when I play the game. And one of the things I found myself saying is, maybe I'll go for straights this time as like my strategy of like prioritizing going for runs of cards. And it was just funny to hear me say out loud that I would pursue straights, because that is not usually my MO.
There wasn't a period of time in college where you pursued straights as well, David?
I was in high school. I was a little bit of a chaos. Like if you weren't into me, that only made me more interested in pursuing you not to toot my own horn, but was successful. And that probably did bad things to me. I just got to the point where I was like, fuck it, I want to ask a guy to prom. And so I just started asking dudes, and one dude said yes, that we had English together. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? And we slow danced together at prom, and there was a very obvious way to tell that he was interested in me from that slow dance that I will leave to the imaginations of both of you and our listeners. And I was like, oh, wow. And then we dated for like a month and a half.
Oh my god!
Oh, wow!
Yeah, don't remember his name. Sorry.
Good for you!
Well, this is what you're afraid of, or what you are feeling prepared by?
Yeah, Civilization.
I mean, I'm afraid that I'm not going to have time for Civilization, because all I want to do is play this fucking card game. All I want to do, I'm thinking about it right now. I actually have made the two of you, I've used Zoom to change the two of you into jokers, and I'm thinking about my strategy of playing as we speak. Tyler, actually, I didn't apply the filter for it. This is just natural.
Yeah. I just look like a clown.
Okay.
That's what Davis
So
say.
I'm scared because I'm worried that it'll never release at Grass, but it will. It will. I conquered Slay the Spire. There will get to a point when there's just no more to do in Balatro, and that's when it will fade off for me. But they have done a very good job of creating multiple challenges for you, the player, to engage in. And so, you know what? Good job, Balatro developer. You deserved that nomination. Sorry you lost it to Astrobot, but like, to be honest, Astrobot was sort of a banger. So
Yeah.
Good for them
I've
to
heard
win.
that's good.
Astrobot is like very fun. I played some of the demo that comes with your PS5, which is just kind of like,
Oh, brag. I have a PS5.
I have to
Well,
go.
What I like about the PS5 version, though, Marilee, is that Tyler's saying that it's a demo. It's a full-on game. That's Astrobot's Playroom, and this is like Astrobot's Big Adventure. And the entire point of Playroom is to be like, we made the controller a little bit better and can do different things, and here's a game to show that off. And it shouldn't slap so hard when it is like literally just a tech demo game.
It could have been Game of the Year, honestly.
Yeah, it was kind of awesome, Meryl.
Yeah,
I'm gonna send you a PS5 just so that you can play Astrobot's Playroom.
I will not say no. Listen, if somebody wants to sponsor the podcast and give me personally a PS5, you are welcome to do so. Please email us at fearcodedpod@gmail.com.
Yeah, listeners, you take care of that, because if I'm buying something, I'm sending y'all both microphones.
Oh. First I get called a clown, and now my audio quality sucks. I see how it is,
Your
David.
audio's fine. You're both fine. I just know there's the next level. And then I'm going to get a pop filter for myself, because I'm still shuddering after editing. I saw the TV glow and the pink, I can't even say it close to my mic. The pink opaque. Just hitting those hard sounds every time. Okay. So I'm scared, but obviously I'm manic. So, Tyler, what's making you feel scared or prepared this week?
I have to say, this week, I am feeling prepared because of, Cyberpunk 2077. Alright, so I'm kind of sticking with, like, a video game theme here, David. Yeah. You got me started thinking about Civ and Balatro, and now I'm going with Cyberpunk. So, a couple months ago, CD Projekt Red released an update that allowed you to change, like, the color of your car. They added more like customizations to your appearance. They've just done so many like quality of life changes after their like really big, huge update that fundamentally changed the game. And God, like every time I go in there and play it, I just am so fully immersed because it is such a good game and has been improved so much from what it used to be. Like it really is like so much fun. The story is really fun. Driving around is great. The combat is really great. Hacking people never gets old. I love making my character look like really out there as well. She's gotten like a big mohawk at one point. So many piercings, lots of tattoos that I would never get for myself, including one on the back of her skull. Yeah.
Oh.
It's awesome. I love this game.
Marilee, have you messed around with Cyberpunk 2077?
Again, I do not play a lot of games that aren't, very like farming related, because I don't have time or money. So
That's fair. That's fair.
That's very fair.
Unfortunately, and there are many games that I will turn into Stardew Valley. Let's be very clear, Marilee.
Yeah. Listen, it's are you Stardew Valley or Stardew Valley adjacent? No. Do you have some other thing that I desperately need in my life for some other particular way? No. Then you're going to be on the shelf until someone tells me specifically why I need it.
But this is real. And then sometimes you are like, I'm going to go out of my comfort zone and I'm going to do something different. And I pop in Nier Automata. And then it's like, would you like to learn to do in-game fishing? And I was like, fuck yeah, let's make this game Stardew Valley. And that's all I did is I never left the first level and just fished.
You're such a star. I love it. How do you feel, Tyler, about fishing mechanics in game? Because I'm also another fishing mechanic girly. So how do you feel about them?
Well, first of all, Marilee, I will say that Nier Automata is on the PS4 and should be like super cheap because it's pretty old. So I highly recommend playing that.
I had a friend who was really like, I don't talk to this guy anymore. He dumped his entire friend group because he's like, I want to hang out with these other people, and he just like stopped hanging out with us or responding to our messages. And Nier Automata was like his favorite game, so it's kind of like dead to me forever.
Oh, that's fair. Very understandable. Well,
yeah.
There's
like,
fishing.
Brandon, if you're listening to this, we tried so hard to still be your friend, and you left us. Like, later days, my man.
Brandon, come on the podcast.
So we can shame you. But going back to the original question, how do I feel about fishing mechanics in games? I love it. I love catching fish in games.
Fish.
I was playing, what was it, Far Cry 5? The one where you're, like, in Montana or something?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, and you're like trying to stop the cult that's taken over the town. Very cathartic to play through, by the way, as a queer person. But they
fun.
have
Okay.
like a whole fishing mechanic in that game. And I loved it. It's so much fun to just like go fish and catch fish. And then of course there's the fishing in Animal Crossing, which is so addictive.
That's true. That's
Okay,
good.
listen, can we talk about the fishing in Animal Crossing for a second?
Yeah.
Because this is February. This is the last month where I can, like, it's not fishing itself, it's diving. Like, I need one more creature, and then I will fully complete all of the animals in my museum. It's the fucking sea pig that's only available from November to, like, February. And I'm so annoying because it's like a fast little guy that's very, very rare. And I just don't have enough patience for the goddamn diving mechanic to find this tiny, fast, very rare thing. Because, like, I will spend over an hour diving for this thing and not find it even at all. It's, like, driving me up a wall. I just want to finish my museum.
Yeah, you deserve it. You deserve it to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I shudder to think about what would happen if I talk about a horror movie, me revisiting my Animal Crossing island. I think I would get yelled at.
Oh, me too.
They're really kind about it in like unlike the the GameCube version, the New Horizon is very gentle about you coming back for, like, you'll have a weird hairstyle for a minute if you do not have the beauty, there's one of the things that you can do with, like, the town hall where you can say, like, you want more beauty things. So, like, you get more flower hybridization, and you don't get roaches, if you have that on. But other than that, that's just all it is. Your animals on your islanders will be like, hey, it's been a while, but that's about it. There's no other mechanical reason why the game is gonna be mad at you.
You say that, but for David and I, who are extremely anxious people, that's going to be the one version of the game where they're going to yell at us.
Yeah, no, like, Nintendo's made specific versions of the game for you two and you two alone.
Just us. You know what? Honestly, there's some terrible flamingo who I've been trying to get to move off forever. So if I came back and she was like, I missed you and now I want to leave, I'd be like, I'm back to this island. I will come back because I never liked you.
You could have just evicted her.
I don't. That feels mean.
Oh, fair.
The electrons would know. Anyway, speaking of electrons that know, let's talk about a man who lives in your head. Tyler, why did you bring up Cyberpunk 2077 beyond this customization? You're just happy that it exists and happy that there's new updates?
It's just every time that they add more updates, I feel like I gotta jump back into the game, and then I'm just fully sucked back into it. I'm going on quests. I'm, like, doing jobs. Keanu Reeves is there. He's negging me, but he also likes me. That I find new fashions to put on my character, even though the entire game is in the first person. And so I can't see shit unless I go into camera mode, but I have to know that I look good. Really, honestly, like, the best way to sell me on a video game is for it to be essentially a dress-up simulator.
Oh, that is very important.
Fair. Let me shoot things, but let me make my outfit look as cute as possible before I go do that.
Even if you can never see it.
Even if I can never see it. I'll know.
The only thing I really remember about 2077, outside of Keanu Reeves, was that at one point in time, I received a dildo that I could use like a club, and for some reason, it was the highest stat weapon throughout my entire run, and I kept being like, I don't really want this to be my weapon of choice, and yet here we are. So I would just run. This is my gameplay style for all shooters, is to just run up to things, and if there is a melee weapon, melee them. I'm like a slappers only girly.
Yeah. Listen, here's the thing. When you're playing a video game, there's only one stat that matters, and that's making the health number go down. So all of your defensive spells or any other nonsense, no, I'm going to hit you with this thing.
Just going to whap you.
You're going to die. That's it. That's all that matters.
Yeah, and sometimes you do that with your friend who's like, no, you're playing a mage. And I'm like, doesn't matter. Bonk, bonk, bonk with a staff. I'm going in there.
Every time you played Kingdom Hearts, you always picked attack as the most important stat, right?
No, it's interesting. The first time I played Kingdom Hearts, I chose the shield because I was like, I want to protect myself, a little protection. Ever since then, it's been sword all the way. I am a bonker. That's what I do. I'm a bonk. I'm bonk forward.
You got a bonk.
Got a bonk.
I'm a bonker.
Got a bonk.
Marilee, does bonking have anything to do with your Scared or Prepared?
No, I'm so sorry. I don't have any video game related thing.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right.
No, I made chili last night, and I had leftovers for today, and as always, chili tastes better the next day, so...
True.
Sure does. Sure does.
Mhm.
Wow. Marilee, back in December, we had a visitor from out of town, and he brought Mike contraband green chilies because we can't get them here.
The
we can't
Hatch
get,
green
like,
chili?
Hatch green, not even like nice Hatch green. No. I wish we got like cans of green chili. They just do not sell them here.
Like what? Well, you said like you mean like jalapenos, poblanos,
like
what do you...
like Rotel is what I'm talking about here.
Okay,
like
okay,
Rotel, because that's what Mike claims is the missing ingredient in his chili. There's still something missing. But wow, I love chili so much. God, we should make chili tomorrow.
You should make chili. It's great. This wasn't the best chili that I've ever had. As it turns out, my brother used the last of the chili powder and he didn't tell me. So it was like when I was making the chili, I was like, where the hell is the chili powder? And he hadn't replaced it. So I had to like guess on like the seasoning mix, and it just doesn't taste right, but it's still chili and it's delicious. I covered them with cheese and Fritos and some cilantro, and it's simply the best.
We should really have like a chili day at the Glitterjaw offices.
Just all have chili.
Yeah. Like you simply cannot make me more on board of this plan.
I love chili. I do love chili. You know, Mike, when he used to go to the office, they had like chili cook-offs, and they would give awards for best red, best green, and best white chili.
It's like a chicken chili, which is fine. Like I've had white chilies. They're some of them can be very good. Most of the time, it's just shredded chicken and cream cheese, and it's fine.
It seems like a chowder to me. I wouldn't call it chili.
What it can be chowder-esque if you do not have the thickness right, and that's all that there is to it.
Yeah. I like chili. We've talked about chili before on the podcast, but just being back in this moment of thinking about just warmth and a little bit of a spice profile. Are you a sour cream in their chili kind of person?
I don't like sour cream in general, so I do not put it on my chili, but I always make sure that I have it for those who do enjoy the sour cream.
Yeah. You would love Europe. We have no sour cream here, but Greek yogurt will work for sour cream in almost every situation.
I do love Greek yogurt.
Yeah, you can put Greek yogurt in chili if you want to cut it a little bit, and it works just like sour cream. But it feels very weird because in my mind, yogurt is Yoplait fruit on the bottom, and the idea of putting that in chili sounds revolting, but maybe it's good.
Sour cream is like firmer texturally, so even though it's a similar taste profile, I simply can't imagine replacing sour cream, light airy, with wet yogurt.
I would agree with you, but the first time that this was exposed to me, someone put it on a baked potato, and then halfway through eating it, they were like, oh, by the way, I didn't have sour cream, so I used Greek yogurt. And I was like, my mind exploded.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. It was really good.
I love that for you. Listen, just because it's not my thing doesn't mean that I can't be excited that you get to have your sour cream adjacent dairy product in Europe.
Ooh, maybe I'll have a baked potato tomorrow.
Listen,
with your chili?
You could make chili and baked potatoes and then have a chili baked potato.
Yeah.
I could put the chili on the baked potato. That sounds so fucking good.
It's like
have
you're
you never
at Wendy's.
done that before?
I guess I haven't ever done that before.
I have never done that either.
It's simply the best. You bake a potato, you top it with some chili, you put some bacon bits on there. I, again, highly recommend if you've not put Fritos on your chili before, you should do that. Because it adds like a fantastic crunch and salt factor that really is so great. Especially because like the Fritos will stay crunchy for a really long time. And it just adds like a fantastic layer and you'll have a really good time.
Yeah. That has me thinking about a walking taco.
Yeah, they're great.
Oh, David is
looking
at...
walking taco.
David, you look very befuddled. It's just a bag of Fritos that you turn...
Oh, wait, I do know this. I do know.
Just pour a whole bunch of taco mix into. And cheese and peppers and all that.
I do know this. Yes. Sorry, I was confused for a minute, but now I know.
Yeah, it's great.
Mike's family puts pork rinds in their chili to add the extra crunch. And it was a don't knock it till you try it situation, but then I tried it and I was like, not for me.
No, I mean, it serves the same function as the Fritos, except with more of a pork-based thing. I think the corn in the Frito is a little better for me personally, but like, if you like chicharrones, go for it.
Everyone should love a chicharron. Anyway, we're not talking about
we could talk about chili for a lot longer, so like just throw that out there.
Well, I'm going to pivot us to talk about vegetables because that's the topic du jour for today's media, because we're talking about the 1979 novella Bunnicula, A Rabbit Tale of Mystery by Deborah and James Howe. The story is about a strange new pet the Monroe family brought home and the mysterious events that occur after. Strange sounds in the night, vegetables turning white with potential fang marks, rabbits where they shouldn't be, all leading to Chester, the family cat, declaring that the new rabbit, Bunnicula, is secretly a vampire.
Dun, dun, dun.
The story claims to be an autobiographical account from Howard, the family dog, that has been passed along to the Howes to publish to the world. Because of this, the names of all the humans were changed, but otherwise, it is all true, which is a delightful concept for a children's story.
In truth, of course, this was written by the husband and wife duo, James and Deborah. Sadly, Deborah died before the book could be published, but their creation together would continue on for a 7-book series with 2 spin-off series, Tales from the House of Bunnicula and Bunnicula and Friends, which both lasted 6 additional books. There was a 1982 animated TV special, a 2016 animated series that lasted 3 seasons, a stage adaptation, and a 2022 graphic novel. That is a whole lot of vampire rabbits. What are our experiences with this novella, Bunnicula, and or other entries in the BEU, or the Bunnicula Extended Universe?
Oh no.
Everything's got to have the Extended Universe these days.
But I love it.
I'm sorry, that made me laugh too much to not include.
It expanded. That's the thing that's so funny. When I read your notes on this, Marilee, I was like, oh my God. I remember the 1982 animated TV special. I had no idea about this 3-season long animation, let alone a stage adaptation. Like, that's just incredible. I will say this was a David pick. This is a David pick, everyone. Look back in December when Derek was like, David picked Smallville, don't come at me. This was a David pick. I wanted to talk Bunnicula because it's probably my earliest memory of being exposed to a lot of these horror concepts, because this the Holiday Inn and then maybe Return to the Holiday Inn, which are books 2 and 4, were all read to us in the classroom.
Aww.
During reading time. Who knows if teachers are allowed to do this anymore? But when I was a child, they were like, you can't learn anything, so I'm just going to read a book to you and hope that seeps in some love of literature, which was about a 5% success rate in the room. But I was part of it, and I loved these. I had them all in paperback. They were fantastic. I think that they are still in my cousin's possession back at our farmhouse in Michigan, along with my copy of Earthbound and some Foxtrot comics that I would like to get back. But I love this. I think that this is a fantastic little story. This is written for children, so rereading it as an adult was like, well, there we go. Gotta finish that book real quick. What about the both of you? Has this been on your radar before?
Well, I read the book when I was a kid. I thought it was fun, but I only ever read the first one. I had no idea anything else existed. Like, oh yeah, Bunnicula, the vampire rabbit. There was a short little guy. No, I was very surprised to discover how much more existed for Bunnicula.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, this was my first experience with Bunnicula.
Oh, brand new Bunnicula.
I know. I am a nascent Bunnicula head.
I love that.
Yeah, we got to come up with a name for Bunnicula fans if we're going to join the BEU.
Oh my god,
it was really like charming and funny though. Like I really had a good time with it. I got like a special edition cover that cost the same as like the regular like mass, public paperback. That had like red velvet and had like little etching of Bunnicula's face on it. It was so cute. But like it actually made me crack up a few times. There's a lot of charm, a lot of humor in this book. So it was a real winner for me.
Yeah. I've got to say that to me, I mean, I liked Bunnicula, and I'm glad we're starting at the very beginning. And I think this is the one that works the best for our conversation around horror. But I think the BEU starts to really come together with Holiday Inn, because they're sent to essentially a boarding hotel for animals, and they encounter this wiener dog named Howie, and later Howie gets adopted by the Monroes, and it just sort of completes the cast, because I think maybe the two of you noticed this, but the dog and cat duo, it's just a little limited what they do, and when you add a third sentient animal, everything ends up working together really, really, really well.
Does Bunnicula ever talk? Do you know?
No, Bunnicula is always just sort of a set piece, which I think is fun. And if I remember correctly, Bunnicula is always there, but like never after the first book, there's no more conflict with Bunnicula. But like when the Monroes are going out of town, they take all the animals to the shelter, and then while they're solving the mystery of Holiday Inn, the animals are like, "Oh, there's the bunny. He's still okay. Fine, let's move on."
While I was doing the research, I will say that I did learn about Howie because he is the main character in the Tales from the House of Bunnicula. Like, those are from his point of view.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, he gets his own little spin-off series.
Well, I love Howie. Because my aunt had wiener dogs, and so I was like, oh, I know wiener dogs.
Aww.
And that was just kind of fun.
That's so cute. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of dogs, furry February. So
yeah. You know what? We did Jantenuary. We talked teens, and we thought, what happens in February? And naturally, the three of us all said love, romance, connection, Valentine's Day. And then we said, fuck that noise. We're doing animals. And so all month long, we will be talking about horror and horror adjacent properties that have to do with a strong theme of the animals who are in our lives. Maybe sometimes representing existing horror franchises, which I think we get to talk about a lot here with Bunnicula, or just set pieces and main motivators as conflict points. We might even talk about the threat of wild animals this month as we dive deep into all the ways that animals can be part of horror franchises.
Yeah, so all month long, we're going to be looking at these horror stories that center on the animals in our lives, what that can represent for us humans, and what can we learn from these very stories themselves. So the first theme that we're going to discuss is Gregor is squirrel-handed, which is a reference to Homestar Runner. Is that right, Marilee?
Yeah, no, it is, I hyperlinked it in case either of you was not familiar. There is a Strong Bad email where one of, like, the Strong Bad is answering an email about, if Strong Bad has ever written a children's book. And he's like, yeah, of course I have. And then, instead of an actual book, you clearly see that Strong Bad has taken a copy of Everyone is Different and completely defaced it and made it into its own new thing. And it's so funny. And it made me laugh so hard. And I simply can't think of Everyone is Different, no two people are the same without my brain going into Strong Bad isms. Gregor is squirrel-handed. Gregor is a weird name, is immediate into my mind. No two people are not on fire. Beth is a linebacker. It just, all of them start spewing immediately out of here. So I simply could not title this any other thing. Apologies, but it simply made me laugh too much to not share this joy with you two.
Apologies are absolutely not necessary.
I reject your apology politely.
Yeah. So yeah.
Wait, before we move on, Tyler,
Mhm.
I have some Strong Bad questions. When did Strong Bad start checking emails, Marilee? Do you just happen to know this off the
No,
top
he
of
was
your
always
head?
checking
Okay.
emails for me.
That's what I thought too. So I need both of you to know that throughout my entire professional career, the first thing I would do every morning is open Outlook and I would hum to myself, checking the emails. And I got to a point where like a coworker asked me, "What are you doing?" And I was like, I truly don't remember why I have this in my head. And later was confronted with the memory of Homestar Runner and Strong Bad checking his emails, where he starts every one of those segments going, checking the emails. And that's all I'd say. That just know that even if you're scared of your boss, they're probably stupid like me.
A, you're a delight. B, I really need you to know how deeply the Homestar Runner brain rot is, because I will frequently call like my cat Pirate, like the secretest cat on this album from the Homestar Runner CD soundtrack.
The early internet was powerful. Gonads and strife.
I miss those
Could've
days.
the whole countryside.
Yeah. All right, Tyler, sorry. Actually talk about the theme now. Gregor is squirrel-handed.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. So unfortunately, Homestar Runner does not appear in Bunnicula. However, this concept that everyone is different, no two people are quite the same, does exist. Sometimes people, which we will read here as rabbits, look like vampires, and maybe they are vampiric in nature, but that doesn't mean that you should judge them for being different, or that they're going to hurt you just because, again, they're different. To me, like, this is essential learning for kids, adults too, because we are in an era where everyone that is different than the norm is a evil thing and must be repelled. So, kind of feel like maybe we should send Bunnicula out to the general population of America.
Oh, well, we can't. It would be too satanic in nature. They would throw a fit and get Bunnicula off of school shelves or something.
True.
Especially that copy that Tyler got that he showed us. Like it looks demonic, but it looks cute. It's cute demonic.
It is cute demonic. Yeah. Much like
Simply
Bunnicula
can't hold
themselves.
Those. Yeah.
But yeah, so bringing this to our queer discussion and our queer identity, part of the queer experience is being different, quote unquote, but loving the parts of ourselves that are separate from the dominant ideology. We've talked about this a lot, that heteronormativity and just that overall heterosexual ideology is something that, as queer people, we're kind of having to combat, and our very existence itself is in opposition to that ideology. So how do we kind of deal with that? How do we make peace with that? And I think part of that is that we tell these stories and try and build empathy in the general population, and part of that comes from the books that you read as a child. So I think Bunnicula is really great, and this is a fantastic theme for discussion of this book.
Yeah, and I think that there's also like this script that we all get given. Maybe not literally. I don't think like when you're 6, somebody is like, here's how you live your life. But all of the media that we engage with, all the conversations we have with our family are about sort of finding and living in your groove. And some of those are textual and some of them are things that we just end up having to interpret. And I think watching the animals deal with Bunnicula's introduction and thinking about, well, he looks like a vampire, and so we're finding victims of his vampirism. He must be a vampire, and we need to stake him, which I think pays off very, very beautifully in this. It is about saying, like, there's a script, and then I think the animals find joy when they throw the script off, which is how we find joy as queer people.
Yeah, 100%.
I love that.
Yeah. And I also think that, like, it's very in line with, like, the horror sensibilities we talked about, because, like, a lot of the time, people like horror because they are themselves different. And you can really see yourself in those characters, particularly ones like Bunnicula.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very true. So, kind of on that note, a similar theme, Let Sleeping Dogs Lie. Sometimes it's best to leave things alone, especially if it isn't hurting anyone. And to me, I think this theme works on a social and individual level. It builds off of our previous theme that people are different and that's okay. But, you know, as queer people, we have to deal with this in all aspects of our lives, both the social level, how do we communicate with other people, both in our group and without our group, but also how do we move and exist and navigate this world on an individual level. So as queer people, we want to be left alone, sucking juices all we want, but still society insists on forcing us to smell garlic. So
right.
That's our struggle that we have to deal with, and it kind of ebbs and flows in terms of the intensity of it. I think right now we're in a time where it's like the garlic is really in our faces and we can't sleep. But, you know, without torturing the metaphor further, just like this idea that we should leave people alone that are just kind of minding their own business. It's important, especially when it has to do with your identity. I think also... Yeah, go ahead, David.
Well, I just think, like, sometimes what we talk about is how when we're queer, we sort of disrupt the status quo. And I think that the three of us come to this work as sort of further along in our evolution than maybe when we were younger. And I think one of the things that we can pick up from horror, and one of the things that resonates a lot with especially this, like, aptly named for Furry February, Let Sleeping Dogs Lie, is that sometimes being queer is about expressing yourself and making a stake. And sometimes it's about not being noticed so that you can stay safe. And it always feels like an act of cowardice to do that. But if it is the way to deliver your safety, that is why we develop skill with code switching. That is why we will hide or conceal or create barriers around certain parts of ourselves within our communities and within the places that we need to be where we're not safe. And so one of the things that horror should do for us is teach us the lesson of, like, make sure that you're safe and secure before you start riling things up or taking on challenges. And that's okay too. It doesn't make you less brave in your queerness to need to be safe, because that is a paramount need of all of ours.
That's well really said. Beautifully put.
Yeah.
Okay, so themes, good. We're definitely talking about animals. Animals are everywhere, all over this book. There are human characters, but who cares? My real question is, it's a children's novel, so we're not necessarily going for the scariest story ever made, but is this horror? Does this belong as part of our conversation here on Fear Coded? You all both, this is probably my only knowledge of a children's horror situation. I don't know that I know of any others off the top of my head, because that just wasn't part of my growing up. But does this count? Like, what's the deal with children's horror?
Yeah, I mean, it super counts.
Yeah, for sure. David, to your point, there actually is, like, quite a bit of children's horror out there, but it is, you know, it's all based off of grade level, like what can kids handle. This is obviously meant for younger readers. For older kid readers, there's stuff like Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. When I was in 5th grade, I read a book of, like, shark, like, anthology short stories, and they would end with children being eaten by sharks. Pretty graphically. Wow. Yeah, no. It could be pretty intense. And, like, today even, well, like, this is a decade ago, but when I substitute taught, you know, after I graduated from college, and I was talking to 4th graders, like, oh, well, what is it that you guys are watching at home? And they're like, The Walking Dead, The Walking Dead, The Walking Dead. And I'm like, wow, like, aren't you guys too young for this? And they're like, no, our parents let us watch it. And it's like,
wow,
kids are very capable of handling a lot of horror, more than adults probably give them credit for. I don't think I would have my child in 4th grade watching The Walking Dead, but I'm not a parent, so it's not my place to say.
I mean, that's actually a really great point I hadn't thought of before. But, like, when you think about it, what are, like, the really big movies that were turned into animated shows aimed at kids? Like, you got Ghostbusters, Men in Black, Godzilla, the Terminator, I think, had one. But I know the RoboCop definitely did. Like, like, all of these R-rated horror movies, in some cases, having as something aimed at kids, because kids love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There was,
I don't know, and I don't know,
like,
I don't know that I would bump on my children watching The Walking Dead, Tyler. More like The Walking I Have So Many Feelings.
All right.
Yeah, sure. I do think, like, going back to Bunnicula specifically, there's some really great visuals in here. Alan Daniel, the illustrator, depicted Bunnicula's arrival to the home really beautifully and eerily, where it's Chester and Howard looking up and seeing that the family has returned with something like in a little hut, like bundle in the father's arms, and there's just two little white dots indicating these glowing eyes staring out from the darkness. And that is such wonderful horror imagery, and yet it has been repackaged into something that is accessible to small children. And I think that's wonderful because it's scary without being too scary. It's just enough to really get the imagination running wild for a kid.
Yeah. I also think it's really fun to take a well-known and well-understood and scary part of the horror world, the vampire, the Dracula, and then apply it to something that's highly unscary, a bunny rabbit. I just think that by itself delivers on this concept that we're going to take and use some of these things from the existing trope, but we're going to do it in a way that just by its very nature has to be a little bit more kid-friendly, because bunnies aren't actually scary.
Well, listen, you know what? That is not the only qualification it takes to be on this podcast.
That's true.
So we need to also discuss this work within the lens of queer theory. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I remembered this before I reread this book, because I was the one who pitched this, and I said, I'm pretty sure the cat was gay. And I feel justified in that early impression that Chester is not just queer representation, but queer anxiety put pen to paper. Everything makes him worry. He is jealous of a cute new addition to the family. Just a queer icon.
Okay, listen. You undersold it, though. Not only did you say that the cat was queer, you said the cat was a gay man. Like a human man. And you know what? You were right. You were right. Yeah. That is a gay... Like, I know that gay man. I know exactly who he is. And you're right, and I commend you for it.
Marilee, you host a podcast with two versions of that gay man.
Yeah, I do. It's great. I like Chester a lot. I also think that like an argument could be made that being a vampire is pretty gay. I also think being a vampire hunter, that's pretty gay.
It's pretty gay. It's pretty gay to hunt vampire because you're sticking a big thing right into them, and you already know that they're gay. And,
and also, like, fellas, is it pretty gay to be obsessed about another man walking around existing for hundreds of years?
Yeah, it is
pretty gay if you ask me.
Van Helsing, call me.
Chester's like a big old queen, and I love that about him. I actually read his dialogue in my head with the voice of Astarion, played by Neil Newbon from Baldur's Gate 3, and it was perfect.
Oh, no.
It worked perfectly. I think also going beyond Chester, I think Bunnicula is also queer, because as Marilee said, and I am totally in agreement with, vampires are gay. Like, I know Twilight made it seem like all the vampires are, like, really straight and obsessed with, Bella and shit. No. They're obsessed with each other. Vampires are gay. And it goes all the way back to Bram Stoker, who is also a big old flamer, writing Dracula and depicting Dracula in ways that were very effeminate and would have caused a lot of anxiety in straight Victorians, because he just did not fit the typical gender ideal of what makes a masculine man. Plus, he's got all these animal characteristics, and Bunnicula himself is an animal. Like, it all is right there, and I think that's wonderful. And then focusing even more concretely on Bunnicula's role in the story, nothing about him fits in with the household pets, and vampires, like I said, are legit, like, queer-coded, so it really kind of all comes together.
I really love that. That's really smartly put.
Mm-hmm.
I even think there's a view of Harold as a bit of an old queer too. Just like, I've been here, I've done that. Please don't bother me. I'm just trying to like live my life. And the little circuit queen cat he lives with is just constantly like, but hey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like it. That's a really great reading. Listen, I know that we're all really pro Chester, but I have another take on him that I think deserves to be explored in this space. And especially if
Yeah.
knowing that we all like him, I think that we should also have a conversation about Chester as like a homophobic gay man who is out to police his own community.
Oh yeah, Chester. I hate it because I love Chester, but Chester might be a GLB without the T kind of guy.
Yeah,
and
like that's the thing.
We hate that.
Yeah, like the way that he's like constantly correcting on like trying to get this queer influence that he doesn't like in his community ousted.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's a little
problematic.
I just think I think the problem merely is that we have too many examples to pull from like I would call it the queer community, but they would say like don't call me queer, and that makes me hate you. Like I just despise you on face value for that. And I just think like I think that's so toxic, and you see enough of it in Chester that I think this is a totally deserved interpretation of my little finicky cat boy. I like to believe that he does better later.
I hate saying it because I love him. I think the reading of him as like a fun little guy is so valid, but sometimes you just get like a little stinky vibe. Like I think that this is maybe a gay guy who still has like a Harry Potter thing in his bio, and if somebody like brings up J.K. Rowling's like transphobia, he won't say anything about the transphobia itself and how like the way that she is destroying actual literal people's real life, and like he won't say anything like that. He'll just be like, Harry Potter was like really important to me and you need to like leave it alone or whatever. You know what I mean?
You can't take that away from me.
Yeah.
You know, you can't, dude. You can't. But like be part of your community and like listen and think about others. My goodness. Oh, poor Chester.
I'm sorry.
But you know what?
I'm sorry. I hate saying it, but
it's totally true. Righteous. But it is something that we have to navigate in the queer community as people. And I do think it's part of evolution of your queer identity too. We just talked about like not feeling comfortable to come out, but I think sometimes what you do is you see and accurately identify threats and think, if I go be part of that threat, then they won't come after me. And white gay men in particular are particularly guilty of doing this in order to like shore up their support and their political power. And that's fucking bullshit. I think that we need to always be mindful of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This doesn't end up in the notes because it wasn't as plot important, but like the good end for Chester is that he ends up in therapy and it really like radicalizes his life. And I think that is another really great way that he is a self-hating gay representation. He goes to therapy and he fixes his life.
Actually, David, he is like the worst version of therapy that you despise. Like he's like a Freudian.
Ugh, he is a Freudian. Oh, God. You're making me hate Chester, but you know what? I can't hate him because he's, like, fluffy. I think he is a little better in Holiday Inn. I will also offer that, though I think he gets turned into just an anxiety bucket there, which I think is a little bit more fun for Chester. And Howie then is the like other voice in the space.
Yeah, like I fully understand. Like I'm reading a lot into this children's book that is not meant to be there. But you know, we're exploring the space.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, exploring the space. Let's get started into it and talk beat by beat of the 1979 novel Bunnicula. I keep saying novel, but Marilee has accurately put the word novella into these notes because this was a whisper of a story. I've actually forgotten a lot about this because I only read it once when we decided to do it, and I didn't reread it, even though I could have in like 5 minutes before we started talking. It's a short one. Gang, so you're going to have fun. I've also, I didn't mention it when we talked about it, but I have seen the 1982 animated feature. And
is it good?
Do you remember the Lord of the Rings film?
Oh, goodness. It's like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like worse than that. And but giving vibes. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of like a weird claymation holiday movie, only it was 2D animation.
Oh, now I'm gonna have to see this.
But not like Frosty, like an off-brand claymation animated.
Was it like a Rankin Bass production?
No, I don't think so. I just think it was fine.
Interesting.
Well,
I have not rewatched it.
I'm
as
deeply
an adult.
interested in that. While we're talking about the adaptations, I'll say that when I told my brother that we were doing Bunnicula, he was like, "Oh yeah, the Sean Astin version." Because apparently Sean Astin is the voice of, he said originally Howard in like the 3-season TV show, and I was like, oh my god, what perfect casting, that's fantastic. And then like a day later he's like, actually I'm really sorry, he's Chester. I was like, that's less good casting, frankly, but I love Sean Astin.
Well, Sean Astin can play a gay character if that's what he wants,
Mm-hmm.
merely, because he does.
He's played several. I love that for him.
He
Sean
does
Astin,
in my
come on the pod.
fantasies. Sean Astin, come on the pod. We will talk about Stranger Things if you come on, Sean Astin, I promise you. All right. So the novella starts with a note from the editor telling a story to the reader about receiving this manuscript from a, quote, sad-eyed dog, along with a letter assuring that everything in the story was true aside from a few changed names, and that it had all taken place in that very town. And it was about a family that is unnamed, but we will call them the Monroes. They were a normal family when it all began, with 2 children, Pete, who is 10, and Toby, who is 8, along with the dog and Chester the cat. And they were a normal family before, and they are a normal family after the story. But here's the story anyway. This is, I think, my first encounter with what I now know to be a trope. And I see that you've written in the epistolary here, Tyler, and I'm excited about that. But I know that that's even a little different than this,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is like more of almost like an envelope of this isn't real. But I think shortly after being exposed to this, I was then given a book for a holiday called Dinotopia. And I don't know. Wow. Okay. It was a big reaction from Tyler and a confused reaction from Marilee.
I have heard that name. I do not know what it is, though. I think that
it was a honker of a book. It was a large book. It was a big boy in like square, like a coffee table book. And it was filled with the recollections of someone who had returned and left all of his notes in a book that then the author of this book wrote up about a fictional world where dinosaurs were living alongside humans, and they created a language that they could spell out with their feet, and I had to keep flipping back to where it told me what the language was so I could decode all of the messages in all of the illustrations. I read the shit out of Dinotopia.
What a delight.
There was a short-lived Dinotopia live-action series that was on ABC in the 90s.
What?
Yes.
I think I was thinking, did it also air on, like, the Sci-Fi Channel? 'Cause I think
probably,
I remember...
like, reruns.
Okay.
Like, it was probably syndicated on there. But yes, Dinotopia, I've put that book away so many times when I would volunteer at the school library.
Wow.
I loved Dinotopia. The art in those books, chef's kiss. Like, it just like as a child who is obsessed with Jurassic Park, like truly obsessed. We've never talked about this, but that was my personality for a good long while growing up. Dinotopia was just like, oh, like so many cool dinosaur pictures and stuff. There's actually a D&D campaign set on an island, like a tropical island,
Schultz.
where it's like humans and dinosaurs coexisting.
Wait, Marilyn is the name.
Yes, Cholt.
Cholt.
Yes.
Cholt.
Yeah, it sounds like I have something wrong and I'm coughing, but no, it's
I'm gonna forget that we had this conversation and accidentally edit out Marilee telling me the name, because I'm gonna think, oh, she had to clear her throat, and just like erase it and be fuck, we were talking about Cholt.
Oh yeah, the island of
I didn't mean to pull us into Dinotopia world, though I'm so glad to have unlocked a childhood memory for you, Tyler. So sorry, what did you all think about this opening?
I thought it was really cute.
Yeah.
I did not remember this at all. I did not, I remembered there was a rabbit, there was a cat, there was, I think I remember the dog, but mostly I remember that the rabbit was, like, draining, the visual of, like, that white tomato was like always, that was my memory of Bunnicula. So I was like so surprised when the story opened. It was like a letter from the editor. It's like, "Excuse me? Hello, series of unfortunate events. How we doing, and girlies?" And I had a really great time. I thought this was very fun.
Yeah, and like David mentioned in my notes, I mentioned that there is a sort of Dracula legacy at work here, where Dracula is told in the past as a series of letters that have been collected into this giant journal, essentially, that describes everyone's experiences with Dracula, and because it's all collected together, that's how they're able to figure out how to defeat him. Now, this also is kind of a throwback to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, which is told in this frame narrative of Frankenstein has been pulled aboard by this boat in the Arctic Circle by a ship captain who's writing letters about his own expedition, and then the story is the ship's captain writing down Dr. Frankenstein's story, and eventually ends with the creature arriving on board the ship and then leaving to disappear onto the Arctic ice, never to be seen again, potentially. So I think it's really cool that they decided to kind of frame it this way. I thought that was really creative and a really bold, interesting choice, especially for a story aimed at small children. I end up having a lot of fun with it as a result, because that's also playing into this idea that a sad-eyed dog can write a letter and delivers it, and then the person who's reading this is going to willingly publishes it. Like, it's just that sort of like magical, fantastical aspect that you just kind of accept as truth in a children's story, and I think that's great.
Yeah, I think that's why when I saw you write down epistolary, I was like, well, kind of. But like, I have actually gone to the rare books room at my institution and looked through old letters for schoolwork, not for just fun. Although it was kind of fun. Mm-hmm. I like reading correspondence. It's why for a while I just kept sending letters to people being like, keep this in case I'm famous so that you can like publish this letter in a rare book room.
That's so fun.
Whenever I read like an epistolary, what I'm thinking of is like, oh, it's a collection of those letters, even though I know that they're all fake. But this was almost like, it's just like the nth degree. Like, it's just, fantastical is the right way to describe it, Tyler. Like it makes me childlike with wonder and joy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think it's part of like that childlike wonder and joy is what people have like assigned to, I'm going off track here, probably terrible idea, but Harry Potter. Because there is just kind of this general acceptance in those stories of like fantastical things happening, and it's just this normal everyday experience. When it would be wonderful if people could expand their reading palette and see there are many stories like that, not just in children's literature, but in the wonderful wealth of the universe that is books. So that's my little quick spiel about that.
You should read more. They're great.
Yeah, reading is awesome.
Love books. Books are awesome. So let us continue with this book, Chapter 1. The story begins with the family coming home after going to the movies to see Dracula. I don't believe it's like the original Dracula from the 1900s, but instead is one of the many bad Dracula movies that were coming out around this time. And it is a rainy day, and they arrive home with a surprise. Mr. Monroe is carrying a bundle with glistening eyes. The family tells Howard and Chester the story of how they came across this bundle. When Toby sat down at the theater, he felt something soft in his seat. They got a flashlight from an usher and discovered a shoebox wrapped in a blanket, and inside that was a tiny rabbit and some dirt. Around the rabbit's neck was a scrap of paper tied with a ribbon, but none of the humans could read what was written on it. Howard, being a mutt, had family all over, and could recognize that it was an obscure dialect of the Carpathian mountain region that said, "Take good care of my baby," but he wasn't sure that it was related to the rabbit. The family take the rabbit in as their new pet, and after arguing over what they should name the poor bunny, Mrs. Monroe names him Bunnicula after the movie they went to see.
This is just so charming from really just start to finish here. I love how they get the name. I love this like note written in a language that like Carpathian could be made up for all I know when I'm hearing this.
It's real.
At like 6 years of age, right? Like,
and the fact that it's the dog who, because he's a mutt, somehow has this knowledge.
Well, he's got like Russian wolfhound blood in his veins.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Silly book. I love it.
The fact that they call it like the obscure dialect of the Carpathian mountain region also just sounds straight out of Bram Stoker's Dracula. So to put it in here and it's being said by a dog is hysterical.
It's so funny. So my thing is, I absolutely love the inclusion of, like, there was dirt in the shoebox. That's so funny to me, because it's my absolute favorite thing when things really adhere to classic vampiric lore, when there's no reason for that to do so. Like, it's not related, it's a joke for me personally, and I see you, and it makes me laugh so hard!
Well, are we supposed to think that this, like, shoebox was, like, his coffin?
Oh my god.
That was my interpretation,
so, yeah.
because of the dirt. It was like the dirt from his homeland, and this is his coffin, and that's how he was rescued.
It's silly and it's cute, and the idea that even though Bunnicula can't talk, his mother can write in this particular language and tied a ribbon around his baby bunny neck. It's silly, it's ridiculous. I'm such a fan.
Yeah.
So here's chapters 2 and 3. The next morning, Chester told Howard about some strange occurrences he noticed in the night. Bunnicula seemed invigorated by the moonlight. Chester noticed that his fur pattern looked remarkably like a widow's peak in a cloak, and like the black covering his upper body. And instead of normal rabbit buck teeth, he's got 2 very sharp fangs. Chester is highly suspicious of Bunnicula and refuses to lower his guard around him. All seem normal for a few more days, but eventually Chester has more to share. Somehow Bunnicula was able to break out of and back into his hutch without breaking anything or opening any of the doors. Chester wasn't able to see how he did it exactly, but he saw him hopping down the hall after being in the kitchen to do something. At that very moment, there was a commotion down the hall in the kitchen. Mr. Monroe had discovered a tomato in the fridge was all white and dried up. Chester also noticed that there were 2 puncture marks in the side of the tomato, and has a theory about what's going on. But first, he needs to reread a book. The Mark of the Vampire!
This cat just reads all the time. Like, part of the reason he doesn't notice what's going on is that he's, like, got his nose in a book, which is, like, listen, we all love cats here, but, like, cats don't read.
No.
Just don't. They don't.
No.
Oh, I just love it. And it wasn't until this, I think that, I have reread the book, but not for a long time, and I don't know what memories I'm keeping or not, but I think that, like, as a child, when I envisioned this, I never really understood the vegetables to be dried up. I thought that they looked perfectly normal. They just had lost all of their color and had the 2 little punctures in them. And rereading this, I was like, oh, it's supposed to be a little bit more shriveled, and, like, it has actually been ensanguinated, I guess. But I think maybe the image of a tomato that's perfectly normal, except that it's white, is a little bit more comical.
Oh, you thought he was like a Marceline vampire, just drinking color.
Exactly. Yeah.
So funny.
I was gonna say, like, I love the visual of, like, a dried up and white tomato for this, because it is both so funny, but it is also kind of creepy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, tomatoes aren't supposed to be white. How'd that happen?
Well, and they're not supposed to be shriveled. I think, like, a shriveled tomato is not, like, we don't prune tomatoes.
Yes,
like,
we do. We sun-dry them.
That's right. It's a sun-dried tomato. That is just a fucking tomato prune, isn't it? Oh
yeah.
My God. Is a sun-dried tomato just a tomato prune?
Yes.
We're making huge discoveries here on Fear Coded, folks.
Tomato raisin. Man, that is a great name for a tomato raisin, is sun-dried tomato. Good job, marketing team. Mm-hmm. Well, okay, it's less creepy to see a sun-dried tomato than I thought.
But it's white. It's a white sun-dried tomato. Also, sun-dried tomatoes are usually, like, in some sort of juice.
Yeah.
So if I saw a dried up sun-dried tomato that is also now white, I would think, boy, that sure is weird.
Yeah, like, I think you have to think of it less of, like, sun-dried as more of, like, petrified, I think is, like, the vibe that you're kind of going for.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what the vibe that I'm going for is a rabbit having a widow's peak.
Just obsessed.
Hysterical.
Yeah.
So
just obsessed.
funny.
Just upset. And it's one of the, there's great you all mentioned this already. There's great illustrations in the book that like really deliver all of this. But I will say that the narrative itself does, like, Mariel, you read the audiobook, right?
I did do the audiobook.
Yeah.
This was packaged with Bunnicula and the next 2 books in the series. Yeah, I haven't done those ones yet because I was really wanted to focus my energy on this conversation, but I am excited to meet Howie.
Yeah. I'm just happy because you got a sense of what this rabbit looked like even without the illustrations. Is what I was going for in the audiobook.
I had seen the illustrations. I remembered them from when I was a kid. And like I made like the audio, like I made the cover for like the month, so I remembered what he looked like. But like even without that, you do like it describes exactly what you're looking at, which is a rabbit with a widow's peak and like a black cape looking fur patch, which is so silly.
So silly.
It's
but
so
it's
silly.
You know what? It's perfect.
This is exactly the fantastical nonsense I'm looking for in my children's books, frankly.
Yeah.
Not to mention Chester being the Van Helsing type, which we've already said, a man chasing after another man for many years. That's pretty gay.
It's pretty gay.
Yeah. So like Chester is obsessed.
Chester is obsessed. But you know what I'm also getting just a little hint of is that Chester's a little bit of a Giles too. Like he is research mode, and research mode all the time. And he like retains and holds information. He uses it to be a little bit nutso, but I just think it's kind of fun.
Like the pop culture idea of who Van Helsing is and who he is in the book are very different things. Like Van Helsing traditionally is more of a Giles type than a buff guy. Like he's like an Austrian doctor. He is not like a big, strong, manly. Like he has the American do like the strong stuff in the novel. Because there's of course an American cowboy in Dracula. Did you not know that?
I did not know that.
Oh, yeah. Boy, are you in for a treat when we read Dracula.
Well, then, you know what? I will force you to rewatch the Van Helsing movie with Wolverine.
I'm so excited. I genuinely love that film.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
I don't have any specific memories about it, but I have seen it.
No, I saw it in theaters, and I remember thinking, this is a whole lot of nonsense, but I'm so here for this ride.
Yeah.
The monster fuckers in our audience love Van Helsing.
It's true,
really?
But
Okay.
I personally was devastated we never got a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted 1 million of them.
All right, into chapters 4 and 5. That night, Howard and Chester meet to discuss what Chester has learned. As he lays out all the evidence, Howard remains unconvinced and skeptical until Chester pulls out the smoking gun. All the lettuce and carrots Bunnicula had been given have been hidden behind the hutch, all shriveled and white, just like the tomato. Suddenly, Howard realized that Bunnicula wasn't in his cage, and they heard something in the kitchen. They investigated and discovered a white zucchini on the floor near the fridge. And the next morning, the Monroes find, to their shock and horror, that not just the zucchini, but all the vegetables in the kitchen have turned white and shriveled up. Chester acts like a vampire to try to tell the family what's going on, but unfortunately, no one understands because he's a cat.
He's also going about it in like the silliest way possible. It's very fun.
Chester escalates and hypnotizes Howard by looking deep into his eyes and then bites him on the neck. But he gets picked up and put in a kitty sweater for his trouble and completely distracts the family from the white vegetable problem. Determined to stop Bunnicula, Chester decides to do it on his own.
I was like a little shook that it turns out Chester can hypnotize Howard. Like
that comes back, by the way.
I love that.
Oh my God, does it? Oh my God. So that's just like a thing?
He's a very influential cat. I don't know what to... Chester, you know what? I'm back on him being sort of an evil game. Like, he should be covered on Bad Gays, the podcast about bad, complicated queer men in history. Like, he would start a cult. He would have started a cult and, like, made people worship it.
I mean, that's just cats in general.
Know what? Thank you. That's cat behavior.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little shook by that revelation. Chester is gay and has special powers like Bunnicula.
Hey, listen, quick, real, like, we're in a safe place. Did you get powers when you, like, discovered your queerness? Because, like, is it just, like, acephobia here? Or, like, is there a line that I missed? Is there some left in my spam folder? I would like special powers, please.
I did get special powers. I was told by the Conclave to keep that information to myself, though.
Oh, fuck.
You know,
my god, the Conclave is such a pain in the ass to deal with. I have to email them about this? Fuck.
Yeah.
I got nothing on this.
Broken David.
I don't think I got any special powers, but I did inherit a incredible ability to sell people things from my father. Now he was not queer, so I can't trace that back to queer roots. But that power came in handy when I did come out and had to sell people on the idea that I should still be allowed to be in social groups. So good for me, I guess. That was my superpower, was blending, and then I spent my entire adulthood betraying that and throwing it away because I didn't want it anymore.
Hell yeah.
You're such a star. I treasure you, David Arnold. Thank you so much.
Now, back to the book. Why do these motherfuckers have so many vegetables? Am I just a bad person? Like, I would not have enough vegetables for this creature to eat. I don't carry a garden's worth of vegetables in my home.
Listen, Mrs. Monroe likes a salad, I guess.
Listen, I've heard that. I heard she likes to toss a salad.
The whole family, queer. The parents, they're messing around.
They're so queer.
They're loose, they're open, there's a pineapple in the kitchen, they just haven't mentioned it because that's a fruit and not a vegetable.
Yep. Bunnicula doesn't go for that. And he says, that's just hospitality. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we know what they're hospitable for.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I have to say...
real quick, though, because I actually just remembered there is, like, a little sex joke about Mr. and Mrs. Monroe in the book.
What?
I don't remember this. What?
It's some line that Howard mentions just very quick, and then it's like blink and you'll miss it. But it was something about how Howard watched Mrs. Monroe biting into Mr. Monroe's neck.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
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 Like a vampire. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. And I guess I didn't really think about it, but yeah, that would have been like a sort of sexy time thing.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Mm-hmm.
Good for them. Listen, they got 2 kids and it's still an active sex life. Like, thrilled for them.
For sure.
I have to say, I raced to Google. I, like, sprinted to see if anyone had drawn Chester in his purple dancing mice sweater. Nothing. No dice. Come on now.
Okay,
Damn.
We don't have any money as a podcast, but I will find an artist to commission for this. Like, this has to be done.
I know enough furries, I could probably get someone to draw this.
Let's do it.
Like, it's just a little tabby kitty cat with a dancing mice sweater. Adorable. I think there are also ducklings on it. I might be making that up. I know for sure there are dancing mice.
Oh, well, Marilee, I just realized, because you didn't have the physical book, there is a drawing in the book of Chester wearing the sweater.
You sons of bitches, I know you're making fun of me.
No, I'm not. I swear on Fear Code of the podcast, there is a drawing of Chester wearing the sweater.
Pull it out right now.
I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, David will do it. I'd have to get up, and I don't want to do that.
Keep podcasting,
all right.
And I will try to find it.
So yeah, podcasting, so great. Love to podcast. No, but like, I love that there is that little mention in there because it just reminds me of like, you could just get away with whatever you wanted back in the 70s. Sometimes, like, you could sneak little stuff like that in there. And I just think that's a lot of fun. I think it also just like goes to show like some more of the humor in this book. And I think part of what makes it so appreciated and beloved is that in a very Shrek-like way, it's enjoyed by all audiences of all ages. Of course, if you're like us, and then we read it in, an hour, if that.
If that.
We can still appreciate it, though. We still learn to love it. Moving on to chapter 6 and 7. That night, Howard wakes up because of a strong smell coming from downstairs. When he goes to investigate, he finds Chester wearing a garlic bulb around his neck and more all around Bunnicula's hutch. Chester wanted Howard's help watching Bunnicula, but he couldn't stand the smell, and Howard went outside instead. The next morning, Howard wakes up to hear strange screaming coming from the kitchen. At first, he thought Bunnicula had struck again, but it was actually just Chester getting a bath, because Mrs. Monroe was pretty upset about all the garlic everywhere. Mrs. Monroe tells Pete to take a steak from the freezer when he gets home, which gives Chester an idea on how to stop Bunnicula without making anything smelly. Unfortunately, Chester mixes up steaks, S-T-A-K-S, that you eat and are delicious, with steaks, S-T-A-K-E-S, which are used for exterminating vampires. He ends up creating a huge mess and gets in trouble yet again. Luckily for Harold, he gets to eat the steak. A few days go by. Chester now is on his best behavior, and even the white vegetables stop, so all seem well. But then Howard realizes that Bunnicula is sick. Worried about his friend, he goes to check on him in the middle of the night and makes a horrifying discovery. Chester has been starving Bunnicula. Howard decides that tomorrow he will make sure Bunnicula gets to eat something by hook or by crook.
This is just delightful. This is where, like, this is my memory of this book. This is what makes me so happy, is just how, and I mean this in like a RuPaul's Drag Race, like, stupid as a compliment way. This is just so fucking stupid. And I love it so much. Wearing that he is a cat wearing a bulb of garlic around his neck, and then later he mistakes steaks and steaks. Y'all, it's too much. It's so perfect.
It's so funny.
So funny. Oh my gosh. It's also fun.
The visual of this tiny bunny rabbit with a fucking porterhouse on his body, and Chester is just pounding him like he's trying to make biscuits, is so funny. It's such a good visual.
Oh my gosh.
I also was gonna say, like, I think Howard is like a really good ally at this point for like getting committed to like saving Bunnicula, and he even describes, like, in the book, like, he's developing a growing fondness for Bunnicula because he's just kind of like sitting there chilling, and he finds something nice about that.
Yeah, it did endear me to Howard a lot. I liked Harold. It didn't. Gosh, this guy, the author being Howard and the dog being Harold, is fucking me up.
I think I called him Howard throughout. I'm sorry, Harold, if that's your name.
Sorry, Harold. You know what? He's a sad-eyed dog, and he's fine.
Yeah.
It endeared me to Harold that he seems to have this, like, paternal protection of Bunnicula, or maybe like cool uncle. It seemed to be more than just like, this is my friend. It did seem sort of important to him.
Yeah, I'm just like going through. I say Harold, I say Howard the whole time. I do not call him Harold even once. So, R.I.P. babes. I'm so sorry.
Names are hard, y'all.
Yeah, I'm
Names
not
are
good
hard.
at them.
Names are hard. They all have similar sounding names. You're telling me there's a dog named Howie in the next one. So there's Harold, Howie, and Chester.
And the author is Howard.
Listeners, they provided the photo.
I got the photo.
It's real. They weren't just making fun of me.
But it's not, like, you hear what we're saying. It's not a good rendition. Like, someone can make this better.
Yeah, for sure. Like, the mice aren't dancing. Those are just mice in top hats.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even a full mouse body. It's just the head. Give us the purple
mouse
sweater.
Body. It just made me think of, like, a tiny little, like, plus-size women's store for mice.
Oh no. Oh no.
Listen, I listened to the audiobook like we talked about earlier. And I really honestly I recommend it, if only for, like, the whole thing is great throughout. Like, the narrator is fantastic. This scene in particular makes the whole thing worth it, because the performance that he does of Harold with the stakes it was cracking me up the whole time. Like, the way that he delivers the steak dialogue is incredible. You really have to listen to this.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I would say, like, this is just a very funny scene. Like, it's just very, very funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny on all levels. I just thought that like the narrator did such a great job at that, and I wanted to give him his flowers. Even though again, the whole time the name is wrong. Sorry.
The whole time?
Yeah.
All right, well, we are wrapping up in towards the end. We have the final 2 chapters. During the day, Harold works out a plan. The Monroes are going to have a salad for dinner that night, so there will be a brief window of time between when the sun sets and Bunnicula is awake. And when everyone sits down to dinner, that he can get the rabbit to the salad where he can finally get his fill. The first part of the plan goes well, as he's able to bring Bunnicula to the dining room, but right as he's about to get to the salad, Chester arrives. He tries to stop Bunnicula, and after a brief chase, ends up in the salad himself with Bunnicula cowering on the table. Harold barks to summon the cavalry, and the whole family rushes into the dining room. Mrs. Monroe figures out that they probably forgot to latch Bunnicula's cage, and Chester had probably been chasing him all over. But Toby thinks that Bunnicula looks sick. They decide to take him to the vet, just to be safe. And in the end, everything works out. The vet put Bunnicula on a liquid diet, which he liked so much that they kept him on it long term, and there were no more mysterious white vegetables. Chester was satisfied that there was no danger anymore, and the case was closed. The end.
Yay!
From the climax of the salad, and again, there's an illustration here, Marilee, of like the cat erupting near the salad. It's the same. And for folks who haven't seen it, it's just really good, solid, but very thin line work that gives you the sense of this image. It is, but then like we're like 100 miles per hour towards the end of this book. We go to the vet, the rabbit's fine, he's on juice diet, we're done. And I do love a really quick and beautiful climax to like denouement.
Yeah, it was great. It was so fun. Yeah.
I love also that this is considered by Chester to be explicitly a win, because even though Bunnicula is still around, Chester feels that he has been proven right, and that to me was very real.
Yeah. Wow. Talk about a queer lived experience there.
Yeah, tell me about it. But also, like, maybe this is the start of Chester's journey to become a better person. Like, he's got to get away from this Freudian therapist. Like, I get that it's the 70s and everyone that was going to therapy, like, this was a big thing. Yeah. But also, for the love of God, Chester, you gotta go see, like, a cognitive behavioral specialist. Don't see a fucking Freudian. But just, it's so much fun. And, like, even the idea that Chester is spouting off, like, psychological dribble is, like, so silly and cute. And Harold has to deal with it. And I loved it. This was a fantastic ending. Really, really fun. And now I'm very interested in these audiobooks for the sequels. I'm excited.
I really recommend it. I got it from my library, and it's fun. The narrator does an incredible job, and very, very funny delivery. I miss, of course, the cat sweater, but what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? I mean, you know what? It was still described, so you had a vision of it in your mind's eye, Marilee, which is kind of the joy of reading, is being able to like picture these things. And I do think that the entire novel does such a good job of painting a picture, which is fun because it's just a short little book. We've talked about it for an hour and a half, even though it is probably the shortest media that we will engage with as a podcast, because it was a cute little book.
Yeah.
It's
well,
so
we did talk about a 10-minute YouTube video, so
that's true. and I will just tell you, Holiday Inn is longer. I think that it is an actual book. And I think that it is the best of the series. So if you decide to go forward, Marilee, with the audiobook that
I'm gonna. I have it for the next 2 weeks. I might as well.
Yeah, I mean, I still can't imagine that it would be very long, but
no, it's the first 3 books are like a 6-hour audiobook, and the first one was like an hour and 20 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
So this isn't like a Hobbit to Lord of the Rings situation.
No.
It's...
But I will say Holiday Inn does it does add a nice mystery element. Like, I don't think I don't know. I don't want to speak for either of you, especially Tyler, who had his first experience with this book. Did you ever believe that Bunnicula was actually a vampire that was threatening the other members of the Monroe family?
I did. For like
Did you?
I didn't know. David, I literally knew nothing about Bunnicula, so I thought it was like one of those children's books where it's like the kids know that the vampire is real, but the kids have to try and stop the vampire, like a Lost Boys situation, but just like aimed at children. So I thought like this was like gonna build up where it's like Bunnicula's eating the vegetables first, but then he's gonna take a bite out of Chester or a bite out of Harold, and no, none of those things. They even do like a little gag about that too, where like, you know, they're worried that one day
Mr. Monroe, he comes down with like shaving cream all over his face the night of all of the vegetables, and Harold, God, I'm so embarrassed. Sorry guys. Harold is like, oh no, he got Mr. Monroe too? And Chester is like, no, you idiot, it's shaving cream.
You can hear Asterian's voice saying, no, you idiot, it's shaving cream too.
You know what? In addition to commissioning artwork, I will look for a cameo for the voice actor for Asterian to read a couple lines of Chester's dialogue for you.
I love that. I'd pay that. I'd pay for that.
Oh my goodness.
So any other final thoughts for this episode? Anything you wanted to point out, or any other conversations that you want to have?
Just, I think that it's fun, and I'd love to see, obviously there is more out there in the world that is in this space, but thank you for going with me on a journey back to my childhood and exploring this series. I appreciate both of you so much, and per my norm, I picked something very not scary.
It was great. I had such a great time. This was such a fun conversation. Apologies to listeners. We definitely just went different directions in this one, and I had such a fun time.
Yeah, such a blast. Such a blast.
Sometimes beefing it makes for great content.
Yeah,
for
it's
real.
true.
For real.
This is not Bunnicula related technically, but as listeners might know, sometimes I like to have like a little guy. I collect stuffed animals, just like to cuddle while we're talking, just to give my hands something to do. Because anyway, I decided to bring one of my Squishmallows. Her name is Juanita, and she's a jackalope. I have the whole Squishmallow jackalope collection, and I thought that she would, because she's as a jackalope, a different kind of weird magical rabbit.
She is bunny-like. Yeah,
so,
I love that.
Yeah.
I love
That
that.
was so much fun.
She's got a flower crown.
That's almost like dancing mice, but not quite like dancing mice.
But yeah, that's the only thing like that additional to their conversation. I wanted you to know that I brought a different kind of weird rabbit.
Yay!
It's all coming together, wrapping up at the close.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, thank you all so much for listening to this episode. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. If you'd like to help us translate things to and from obscure dialects from the Carpathian Mountain region, you can find us at VeerCodedPod on Instagram and Blue Sky.
And of course, this podcast is a proud part of the Glitterjaw Queer Podcast Collective. If you'd like to listen to more queer media podcasts, check out the full roster of Glitterjaw shows at glitterjaw.com. And join us next week as we continue with Furry February, as we join Scooby-Doo and Minstrel Inc. on their trip to Zombie Island, which I know made quite a few listeners into furries, so I think it counts for the month. But for now, we will simply say goodbye.
Bye.